Hi. We're
Hey,
getting
how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm good.
Good.
doing good.
Yeah, so this is
Excellent.
AJ and Dorian.
Hi.
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 All
I'm
right.
I'm Dorian, the weird, deeper voice person.
And I'm AJ. And I'm AJ.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
No problem.
No problem.
So let's go ahead and get started. But
Cool.
how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. How's
Awesome.
everybody else doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little tired, but I'm doing
Yeah.
okay.
Good.
Great.
So let's go ahead and get started. I guess I'll just go ahead and ask the first one. How did you
Okay.
get into voiceover?
So I pretty much always just did voices without realizing it. I would give voices to babies or animals that, couldn't speak for themselves. If they had an impression on their face, it always just made me wonder what they were saying. So I always just kind of did that. And then I studied musical theater at the University of Michigan. My plan was I got 2 degrees. I got one in psychology and one in musical theater, and I was going to do music therapy. But by my 4th year, I was like, I don't want to do school anymore. And somebody heard me doing a voice after a class and was like, you need to do voiceover. And it was just like, oh my goodness, like it just kind of clicked. It just didn't occur to me that, oh my gosh, all those cartoons that I watched every Saturday morning and the Wonderful World of Disney and the Muppet Show, all of that, people get paid for that. So that's for me. Heck yeah. So,
Nice.
yeah, so I just tried to figure out how to make that happen. And I was living in Michigan at the time and was pretty much done with musical theater. And so I moved to LA and started bugging people, and here I am.
Cool.
Living the dream.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Like when you moved, so could you clarify, I guess, for people in the audience, like bugging people, like what would that process sort of look like?
Well, the first thing I did was get into an acting class, and I found a really great one that was, there's a million acting classes in LA, and I happened upon one that was just the perfect fit for me and the perfect sort of instructor that helped. Like it was acting, and of course we did like scene study and cold readings and monologues and all that kind of stuff. But he also every week when we got there, he checked in with us to ask us what we were doing to further our careers, which was so helpful because, LA is a big sprawling city and when you just don't know. So he helped with that sort of like guiding you. Okay, you have to start contacting casting directors and you have to start trying to get an agent. And so for voiceover, you really need to have a demo. So I had to kind of start there too. So I got a demo together and I actually worked at a place that did audio duplication. And so a lot of voiceover people came through. So anybody that came through with a voiceover demo, I was like, how do you do it? What do I do? Who do I talk to? How can I make this happen? And so I just asked a million questions and tried to put myself in the right place at the right time. And I managed to get an agent when I was about to give up and start my demo over again because I hadn't gotten responses back. And then it's funny, I'm still with that same agency now, which is awesome.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So did you make your demo, or did someone else assist you in doing that, or?
Through where I worked, my boss, who happened to be an old family friend from a million years before, he had a lot of industry contacts, and so one of his good friends did demo production. And so many people were like, you can't just do animation, you have to do commercials. And I said, but I just want to do animation. Don't make me do commercials. And they're like, you have to do commercials, no agent will take you. And I said, fine. I will make your commercial demo, but I will make it my own. And so I did commercial copy, but I did it as like little kids or
Yes.
Like that was my wheelhouse. Like I was like, no one wants to hear me hawking Ajax or carts or whatever. So I said, fine, here's your commercial copy, but this is doing it my way. So I did it as like little kids. I forget what was that first one that I did. It was like for like Tyson chicken nuggets or something, but I didn't it, and it worked. Like normally that commercial would have been like the mom trying to get their kids to eat the Tyson chicken nuggets, but I was like, no, it's the kid. He wants the chicken nugget. So, or she, or whoever. So that I did that, and then I actually I skipped a part. I did have an agent that I just didn't, he didn't send me out very much, and within over an entire year, I maybe had 6 or 7 auditions, which is it's just not enough.
That's not a lot, yeah.
I mean, it was great. I was grateful, but it was like it wasn't enough. They say, after 100 auditions, you finally book something, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've only done 6. What am I going to do? So that's when I started rethinking my demo, and like I added the Chiquita Banana song. I'm a Chiquita Banana, and I'm here to say a Chiquita Banana, and you can eat every day. So I added that onto the end of my demo.
Is there a place we can watch this?
No, you can hear it. It's still on my demo somewhere. I think it might be.
Cool.
It might be on my singing demo. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's out there somewhere. But yeah, I had my engineer friend, I'm like, just roll with it. Just go with me here. I just need to record this Chiquita Banana song. Okay. So we slapped that on the end, and that's where when I booked my new agent, I brought them a big basket with bananas and banana bread and banana muffins.
Just banana-themed items.
Yes, all of them. Because they were like, that banana song was the best. And so I'm like, cool.
That's awesome.
And then,
that's really dope.
Yeah. So, and then with the new agency, it was like 6 or 7 within the first week. So big difference.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't remember what question I was answering.
How you got into
that's how I had a friend help me with my demo, but then I switched it up a little bit because I was like, I refuse to do it your way.
No, I think that's awesome. I kind of feel the same about commercials. I'm like, I don't want to do commercials. I want to do characters. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, and I will say I have changed my tune because I after booking my first radio spot, or even I was like, whoa, it took me longer to get to the job than to actually do the job, and like, why not? And with you get residuals, and you get money. So
Money is good.
It's kind of great. So I'm like, how could I have poo-pooed commercials? But at the time, like, you want to do the fun stuff, and
yeah,
not that commercials aren't fun. They can be. It just depends on who you're working with. But
yeah, that's fair.
Now I'm curious. Now, how would you have felt if they threw you a curveball? So you're like, okay, we want you to do commercials. I want to do characters. What if you did a commercial as a character, like how Nancy Cartwright does, like the Bart Simpson stuff, or when she did that for Butterfinger commercials back in the day?
Yeah, and that would have been awesome, and I totally would have. And I mean, I actually have done a couple commercials as little kids. I've done a few.
Nice.
It ends up being a boy. But yeah, there was like this Sparkletts water commercial that I did. And this kid was getting in trouble in the principal's office, and they're like, Timmy! And I'm like, Miss whatever. It was very... I don't... Like, they're in the principal's office, and why these kids are talking about water, I'm not sure, but that was... Yeah.
Oh, my God. All right, right on. Let me see. Did you want to ask the next one?
Yeah, if that's okay, really quickly.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have any advice that you would give to anyone else who, were wanting to go into voiceover?
Things are so different now than when I first started, and so it's different in good ways and then different in more difficult ways. It just depends on, kind of how you look at it. So the great thing is that you can make your own demos so much more easily now than you could then. I mean, it's always a good idea to have somebody that knows what they're talking about help you, or at the very least listen to it and help you make it sound as realistic as possible. But I always tell people to take acting classes, like start there, because while yes, you are making silly voices and you have to have something to start with, you have to have your instrument to be able to work with it, but you also have to be able to play your instrument. And you can't play your instrument without acting classes, because creating characters is more, voice acting. It's in the title. You have to be able to be an actor and be able to create characters and be outside of your comfort zone. You also, I always tell people to take improv classes, because that frees you up, especially if you're doing cartoons. You need to be able to there's a script for you, but sometimes you get to improvise, which is so much fun. You get to add your own stuff in, which, is very freeing as an actor. So that's what I always tell people. Start with acting classes, improv classes, and talk to people, ask advice. If you get a demo started, have people listen to it and get feedback.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's really good advice. Thank you.
Sure.
Or Dorian, you want to take the next one?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Okay, so let me see. Let's see. What is your favorite role that you've done, and why?
That is really one of the hardest questions, because all of my characters, they're sort of like little pieces of me. But I think probably, I love Tails, and I know this, I'm not trying to pander to the Sonic community, but I do. He's smart, and I have learned a lot as I've, taken on this role. I've learned a lot about the Sonic canon and the history and all of that stuff. But when he first came to me, what I knew of him was Sonic Boom, and the writing on that show and the group that I got to work with, the cast members, all the other actors, it was just such a symbiotic, hilarious experience, that, he will always have a special place in my heart. But then I got to play Wasp, who was a kick-ass superhero, which was amazing. The very, very first character that I did was Polly McShane from the Kids from Room 402, and she, because she was my very first character and she was sort of my go-to. I don't know. There's something about Polly that I will always, just kind of cherish her. She was just a goofball, and I like the funny. That's one of my ones any character that I got to play that I got to be funny.
Right on.
You definitely had some moments as Jazz on Danny Phantom years ago.
Yes, and she was a great character to play too, and that experience was amazing. Work with Butch Hartman and that whole cast was just another very symbiotic, great group of people that just all we did was laugh the whole time. And what a great job that is, to get to go and just laugh for 4 hours.
and actually, speaking of your roles that you've done, something that absolutely blew my mind was that you were Sora on Digimon. Yes.
Oh, yeah. And that was my very first anime. I didn't know.
Really?
Yeah, that was my very first anime role, and it was right on the heels of we were recording Kids from Room 402, and so this audition came through, and I'm like, okay, cool, and then I booked it, and I didn't know what I was doing. I did not know how to do anime. I had only ever done original animation, which you have a script. There's always a script, but none of the animation is done yet. And with anime, it's already finished, and then you have to know how to fit your line into already animated characters. It was such on the job training. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Now,
and all the efforts.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just all the efforts and all of the action stuff was unfamiliar to me as well, which was I just kept saying, just don't watch me do it. Because I'm like, and I use my body like a lot of people sit. I can't sit when I do voiceover. I have to stand up because I have to use, all you got is your voice. So if I can use the rest of me to channel it through there, I have to. So, but yeah.
Right. Now, I'm curious too, because I know that, because I do a lot of animation, and from an animator's perspective, when we're doing lip flaps, specifically stuff that's done in Japanese animation, where I think it's 4 3 mouth pieces will go up and down. When you're recording Is it easier to do it that way when you may have to come in maybe for a retake or something, because you're not necessarily constrained to the formulation like of the mouth, as with Western animation, if that makes any sense?
I mean, for me, original is I don't, I'm at the point now where I don't know if one is easier or harder than the other. I feel like sometimes original animation can be more freeing, because you can give your character more nuance as far as, sometimes you pause when you talk because you're thinking, and it's hard to, I guess that's where you're putting in the harder or easier. It's harder or more challenging to give your character those nuances when you're having to be restrained by what's already there. So,
right.
Trying to get those acting points across and being able to speak the way a person speaks in English when you have to fit it into a certain amount of flaps can be difficult sometimes.
Gotcha.
And it doesn't always translate, so they have to do a lot of rewriting because Japanese sensibilities versus American sensibilities are very different. So sometimes they have to rewrite it to make it make sense for an American audience, and it doesn't always, translate.
Right. Like I heard it was even harder back in the day because, it wasn't like it is now where you're able to stop and rewind it like really quickly. Like you would have to like stop the tape and like put everything all the way back and do it again. Like you only had like one or two or maybe 3 tries or something like that. Like in certain studios they would have it that way. But I remember when hearing with someone that worked in the industry before, with anime in particular, like if you missed that, like you would have to turn the tape all the way back and have to. Yeah.
Pretty crazy. But now they have technology. How far have we come?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
I was also curious as well, since you like to play like a lot of play characters that like with the great sense of humor are really able to bring a lot of yourself out to it. Do you find that more in your role as Charmy than you will with Tails, or is that or is it like kind of the same thing?
It kind of depends on. A lot of it depends on the writing and the scene. I feel like there were lots of places where Tails got to be a little bit sarcastic, a little bit snarky, because he was the smart one and he could, I got to do a lot of dry deliveries with him, which is always my favorite. Sarcasm is my go-to humor.
Right on.
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
Boom must have been like a really good place for that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like they sometimes I think would mess with me too, because he was the smart one and he always had all the I always got all the technical jargon, and he and he talks kind of fast, and I'm like, what is this word? What are you making me say?
Yeah, I was about to ask actually if there were any like big words. You're like, I don't know how to say that, and especially super quickly.
Yeah, and sometimes you do. You get tripped up. But sometimes you can get tripped up with it just depends. Some days you have a hard time saying certain words. I don't know what that is, but sometimes you go and I'm like, I don't know why I can't say this word today. Maybe we could rewrite that because I got
Dorian.
You know what?
What was the word that I couldn't say?
I was actually just about to mention that. Like, okay, so I was doing this. So when I met Emily, we were doing a Sonic thing together, and like a lot of I had to have like an exposition part where Tails is explaining to Sonic how a certain thing works, like with ancient text, and I needed to say hieroglyphics, and like both Emily and a friend of mine who was Sonic, they could not say it. It was
hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics.
Yeah,
I can't say it.
You kept saying hieroglyphics and hieroglyphics. I'm like, it's hieroglyphics. It's okay. You could do it. Like like over that one line, we were there forever trying to get that. But yeah, that was fun.
It happens, and it happens to everyone. Like I've been in a session where we're reading a whole scene, and every time we get to that line, they're like, I get it. Like, I think maybe even when you're just like, you read a word and it just looks weird to you and it doesn't seem right. Or sometimes it's the pairing of words, because sometimes if they have like grouped consonants like STs and THs and like they're going together. Danny Phantom saying the word ghosts was not an easy thing, especially if there were other things around it. The plural word of ghost is not. It's really hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
It seems like this word really hard. Ghost.
I could see that being a struggle in recordings.
It's tricky sometimes.
Oh, that's great.
Working upon that, just going back to Danny Phantom for a second, like how did you nab that role? Like how did that come about?
Oh, I think just super duper lucky. You know, I auditioned and I'm pretty sure I had a callback for that one. I probably had the callback at Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm.
And then I booked it, and I just, you know, that was just a gift. Who knows? Sometimes I feel like it's like winning the lottery. You're like, oh my God. Because like, what did I do that was different enough that they went, yes, that's what we want? Like, I don't know. Like when I auditioned for Wasp, I had 3 callbacks for Wasp. And I thought, oh, please give me a break. They clearly don't want what I'm selling. Like they just don't. There's something about, I don't know. I just felt it was so, I wouldn't say frustrated, but I was just like, I mean, okay, I'll go to a 3rd callback, but I just don't understand what the deal is. And I had to talk to one of the people at the studio who I knew, and he said, yeah, you know, I really think from what I'm understanding what they want for this character, you know, it was down to 3 of us, I guess, and the other 2, I don't know who they were, but there were other 2, and they were similar, and I was the outlier. And they're like, yeah. He's like, I really think they want what those 2 are doing. I think you'd be better for Pepper Potts. And I'm like, okay, I'll take Pepper Potts. I don't care. That's cool too. And then I got it, and it was just, who knows why all of a sudden they changed their minds. I don't know. I'm happy that they did, but who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just
Gotcha.
So, do you have any new goals that you have sort of set for yourself regarding like your future?
Well, one overlying goal has always been I want to sing in a Disney movie.
Oh my gosh.
I just, whatever that looks like, whatever that means, I don't need to be the main princess because I'm not a celebrity and they would never cast me as that. But I just want to sing in a Disney animated movie. That is my ultimate. But as far as like other shows, like I would love to be in one of this. You know, I love the superhero stuff. My family and I, we see every single Marvel thing that comes out. So I would love to, you know, get back into the Marvel world again. Or Star Wars, anything Star Warsy. We're very sci-fi oriented.
Okay.
So that would be
Very cool.
a fangirly thing for me to get to be on one of those shows again.
Nice.
I just like to work. I'll do whatever. I love the little kid stuff though too, because that's always, you get to be more what they like to label as cartoony. I love that stuff. Like I would love to do some of the, you know, all the new Warner Brothers Looney Tunes stuff that's coming out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
They're doing all new Looney Tunes stuff now.
Yeah, I love that stuff. I mean, I don't know if you guys look at my Twitter stuff, but I got to do a session. We were doing some Walla for Boruto actually, and they're like, okay, are you ready to do some chicken Walla? I'm like, did you just say chicken Walla? Like real chicken? I'm like, heck yeah, I want to do chicken Walla. I don't know how long. I was like, let's do another pass. Like I was just like, yes, clucking like a chicken and I just took a video of it and I put it on Twitter. It's ridiculous. Twitter's
Oh my god.
Like
I
actually
can see
speaking
that
of,
now.
Actually, speaking of which, what shows you just done? Like now, I know that they just announced it at Comic-Con not too long ago. But I was curious if you could say anything about your experience recording tales for that OKKO Let's Be Heroes Sonic crossover.
It was so much fun. I was so excited when they called, and I guess they've been trying to do it for a long time, but they had to, you know, they were going back and forth with Sega, and it was a lot of like. well, who has the rights to this and who has the rights to that, and and all of the, well, you can't say this, you can only say, I mean, I was not there for any of that part of it. I just was like, yeah, I get to go in. So, but they did say it was a long road getting there, and so they were so excited. So to get to go in and play Tails again, and Roger was there, and it was a blast. We had so much fun.
Nice. Did you get to record it in the Cartoon Network studios?
Yeah.
When that was. Oh, nice. Yeah. Very cool.
That's always
nice.
That's going to be premiering rather soon-ish.
In a week. It comes out in a week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It comes out in a week.
Awesome.
Yeah. And it was funny because obviously when we did it, I knew I wasn't allowed to say anything. I feel like we've joined the CIA now. Like, you can't talk about anything. But people had, before Comic-Con, like, I didn't know that they were going to announce it at Comic-Con. I didn't know. I thought it had already happened because somebody on Twitter a few months ago said something to me, and I didn't, because they were just sort of speculating. I liked their comment, but I didn't say anything because I was like, I'm not going to be the one that gets in trouble for anything. I'm not.
Yeah.
I will say nothing until somebody says yes. Go ahead, say. So
there was a screen cap that was going around of that.
Yeah,
like there was, because I think that's how all of us like kind of like in the inners of the community, because like anything that goes on with Sonic at all, we are like on top of it. So that was that there was an image of Sonic and Tails with KO kind of floating around that looked like it was a picture taken on a screen. So yeah. That's
and I was
like,
like, oh, did it already air? That's, I would have thought that somebody would have said something. I can't monitor all of that all the time. So I just, with it. And then I saw the clips coming out, like the official. I'm like, okay, phew, thank God I didn't say anything. Dodge that one.
Yeah. My usual frame of mind with that is I'm kind of like, whenever it comes to like stuff with cartoons or whatever, I'm like, well, if IGN says something, okay, then whatever, it's fine. But like, you see it on YouTube floating around or whatever, I just wouldn't know, because usually I never know where those sources usually come from. Maybe someone on the team got it. Leaked it out. Maybe someone saw something. Like, it's all kinds of stuff. Like, I think I want to say DreamWorks, I think it was, they had to stop. Something happened with Voltron because
Dorian.
Dorian.
It's time to come in and this is how we do shows, how we do. Yeah. Hello.
You kind of cut there, buddy.
Disappeared. You said what happened with Voltron, and then you were gone.
He went ghost.
It's like that's just like they came in. They were just like, nope, we're just not talking about that. I'm kidding.
I thought something died on my end. I'm like, no, please.
That's what I thought. I'm like, oh God, the DreamWorks police came for him.
Like someone just barred us in, like all these agents. I'm like, wait, hold on, no, I'm sorry. Okay. So apparently, from what I understand, a fan was invited to come in because they won some kind of contest or something, and they were like, okay, this is how we make the show. This is that, and apparently they took pictures of it and uploaded it online before the stuff even came out, and that was so it's just like when people are posting that kind of thing or whatever, or making fake leaks to try to get information out of people that work on it, you got to be super careful because people are very crafty on the internet.
Oh, I know, and they find out stuff long before I do, and I just I don't say anything.
Yeah.
Deny the existence of what you're talking about. I don't know.
Yeah. That's how they try to get you. It's like, so I found the screen cap. Were you a part of this? You're just like,
Then I liked one of them, like, Colleen liked my tweet, so it must be true. And I'm like,
that's how it goes.
No.
It's just like, oh my Lord, the internet is a weird place. I swear it is.
It really is.
Oh man. Whew. Okay. Now, like, I am curious too. Like, what's your like, if you had consumed anything of Sonic before you got the role as Tails with your first project?
What was my impression of him?
What kind of like if you ever engaged him?
Sonic or anything like that before?
Yeah.
I of course had heard of it. And actually I did Charmy long before well, I was probably at least 2 years before I was graced with the role of Tails. So I was, of course, familiar with Sonic the Hedgehog. I would have to have lived under a rock to not have heard of it. I am not a big gamer, which I always preface this with I always apologize. I'm so sorry that I don't play video games. I wish that I did, because especially if people are fans of games that I've worked on, they just assume that I play them too, and I don't. I'm sorry. I still play Candy Crush on my phone. That's
No, I see you're a gamer. If you play Candy Crush, that's good enough.
I'm somewhere in the 2000s of levels, and it just relaxes me. I don't know. And back in the day, I played Frogger and Pac-Man, but that's, I've never really been. I love the games that I work on. Don't get me wrong. I have a blast working on them, and I'm always impressed. And I kind of wish that I did, because sometimes people will ask me specific questions, and they like them so much that I was like, gosh, I should probably play that game. That sounds pretty cool. I just don't have time. I don't have time to be sitting around playing video games. So as far as your question, I had not actually played any of the Sonic games before that. And I know there was a show like in the 90s or something, and I was not familiar with. I knew it existed, but I hadn't watched it. So I went in fairly blind, I guess, but I learned a lot. And we had a big Sonic event in New York. It was like maybe a year or so into recording Sonic Boom, because we did a video game first. We recorded that first, and then we started working on the show. And we went to New York, and people had these it was like the encyclopedia of Sonic. It was like everything in there. And so I learn a lot from fans. They teach me about my characters, it was kind of cool. Realized that I didn't know he had like a full name. I didn't know. I thought his name was Tails. I thought it was just, but Miles Prowl.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Tails, because they're like, get it? Miles per hour? And I was like, oh, that's so cool. I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, if I may, the way that came about was because I believe the Japanese team that was working on Sonic the Hedgehog 2 back in 92, or I think late 91 or something like that, because I think they started doing Sonic 2 right after Sonic 1 came out, wanted to give Sonic a friend, because they wanted to do multiplayer. And they came up with the idea of a two-tailed fox, and they call him Miles per hour. For the pun, and the American marketing team was just like, no, because they didn't like the pun. So they were trying to pitch a bunch of different names to see if it would actually work, and nothing was getting through. The Japanese team was just like, absolutely not. We are not taking that. His name has to be Miles. And so I believe it was Al Nielsen and his small team in marketing that wrote a story that showed the origin of Tails in his brotherly relationship with Sonic. And apparently the Japanese team was moved to tears, and they were like, okay, you can call him Tails. And so the way it was always established was that in America, his name was always seen as Tails, but in Japan, it was always going to be seen as Miles. In fact, if you look on the Sonic 2 option screen, and the name of Sonic and Tails changed, instead of saying Tails, it says Miles instead. So it's just yeah. So there was some friction between the two teams when it came to his name back then. Yeah. Well,
and people are so they have such passion for these things that they've created, and so I understand that they don't want to, that they want to have a say in where it goes and how it's perceived and all of that stuff. So I get it. It's like, it's your work, it's your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tails is great.
Oh, I love him. So apart from acting, do you have any other hobbies?
Well, I'm a mom of 2 kids, so they
that's a hobby in of itself.
Seriously, they are my hobby. So I do. I'm huge, gigantic fans of both of my kids. I'm so lucky. They're such great humans. So yeah, I have them. I love to read. I really like a good book. I do a fair amount of work. The one thing that I do for me, that's just for me. I work out, which sounds kind of silly. I'm not like a fanatic or anything, but I have this group of ladies that meets at the little gym around the corner, and we do cardio and Pilates, and that's like my thing that I do just for me.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Nice.
And,
I
have to start getting back to the gym myself.
How old are your kids?
my son is 18, which is ridiculous.
18.
Wow.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I know, it's bananas. He graduated from high school and he's going away to college.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Leaving me. He's going to Chicago. He got into the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, and so he is headed off.
Oh, sweet.
Pretty awesome. I'm so proud of him.
He's leaving the nest for right now.
Is but he's such a cool kid. He's writing music, he's recording albums. He's like, I gotta record my album before I leave. I'm like, oh my god,
That's awesome.
what if you cleaned your room before you left? What if you did?
Nice.
My daughter is 15. She's gonna be a sophomore, and she's my little dancer girl. She's sweet as she could possibly be. She's just, and they're both smart and they're both funny, and they're cool to hang around, and they still like to hang out with me, which is nice.
what's the age where they no longer want to hang out with you?
They still sometimes do, which is great. That's
That's awesome.
to have teenagers that still want to, engage.
I have an 8-year-old
Oh.
and I'm just waiting. Like, please keep hanging out with me.
Yeah, I know. When Connor started middle school, I was dropping him off, and I was like, okay, so I know it's not like cool or whatever to hug your mom or to say, I love you and stuff. So I will promise you I won't do it in front of your friends, but I'm gonna need a hug every once in a while. Just FYI, you can do it in secret. Fine. He goes, Mom, I'm always gonna hug you. I don't care if my friends see. I'm like,
Oh,
best kid ever.
that's a
Oh
gift.
man, but like I think it's like I remember when I was in middle school. For me with my mom, it was just the smothering, because I remember she would just I remember when I first walked to middle school, she didn't think I could see her, but she was in the car following me to make sure I got there okay. Just yeah, so yeah, it's just Mom, I'm independent, I'm okay, but it's all good, and that's totally great. When I was going off to college for the first time, my mom was just like, oh, you're leaving me. I'm like, no, I'm fine, I'm gonna come back. I'll come back to visit. It was just
My mom was
Yeah.
definitely my mom was definitely like that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you're gonna be her baby forever. Like, I still see him as a baby. He's my baby.
Yep.
Yep. She tells me that all the time. She's like, you're still. She'll show me a picture of when I'm maybe 2, and she's just like, you're still my little baby. I'm just like, oh, I know, Mom. Just like
My mom does this. She does the same thing. She does it was a picture of Halloween when I was dressed up as Buzz Lightyear one year when I was really young.
Yeah, see, I mean, he's still my Buggles Boober, and she's my Schmoopy Loopy, and that's how it goes.
Yeah. You know what? I think when I finally got it, my mom and I and my stepdad will take care of my cousin's daughter. I think for a couple of days out of the week. We did that for about 2 years, basically. So I was kind of found out what it was like to be a part-time parent a little bit. So I remember this one time, it was when she was leaving, because she was old enough, she wasn't, she didn't have to stay with us anymore. She was a little bit more independent now. But when she was leaving, I remember just when she left, I I called my girlfriend at the time, just oh, she's leaving. And she's just it's I get it now. Cause it's you just, because there's just such an attachment that's there. So yeah, it all makes sense now. I get it.
Yeah. But I'm so excited for him. He's going to have a blast, and he's school has never been his thing. So that he got this far, and that he's going to this amazing place, and it's, he's going to have choices and things that he can do, and it's, he's actually going to do animation to start.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And their facilities are amazing, and they have a game facility, and they've got this whole AR.
Oh wow!
Room. Like it's amazing. They've got a green screen room. Like they have, it's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited for him.
Yeah. He's going. You said he's going to the Art Institute of Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I went to the Kansas City Art Institute.
Oh, okay.
But my family and I, my family and I visited there.
From there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Say that again.
We got lots of literature from there. They
right on.
So.
Right on. But yeah.
Did you have a good time there? Was it
yeah, like I thought that it was pretty cool. It's very, the animation department in particular, it's very freeform, I think.
Yeah.
Like you're able to really kind of get into a lot of the a lot of things on your own where it's kind of open for you to try different things. The only issue though is just that like a lot of things on the cool side. So in terms of like how you find jobs and how you get resumes and how to make things to sell yourself and all these things here. Like I'm actually at SCAD. I'm at SCAD now getting my my master's degree in sequential art.
Awesome.
And thank you. And like now I know here at this school they really push that like for the grads and undergrads here with those programs. So yeah, but all the while though, like KCAI was really fun. I had a really great round of teachers that taught me some really great things. It was nice to have the experience. It's definitely a great place to start. But I think the Art Institute of Chicago will be great too. For sure.
Yeah, and they have a whole department for that kind of stuff. Like they have all these like internship opportunities, and in between, they have a fall semester and a spring semester, and in between like Christmas and end of January, they have this little mini winter thing, and they have lots of opportunities to go other places and study. And they're all about, trying to get you a job afterwards. So I'm like, okay,
right.
good.
Yeah, like that's definitely like what you're gonna want. Like, yeah, like definitely have that guaranteed for sure. Yeah, for sure. Because it is. Oh man, it is so tough and competitive out there for the world of animation, and it's and just the level of work that you have to do just for a single thing is just insanity.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And it's hard to navigate, so I think they have a good little team over there that sort of helps guide them in a direction at least.
Yeah, sweet. That's great.
Yeah.
So if it's all right, let's go ahead and let the chat ask some questions. Is that all right with you?
Okay, cool.
Let's do
Cool.
it. All right, chat.
All right,
Let's do it.
Unleash.
Let's see what we got here.
Okay, see what you did there.
Now we wait. Let's see what they say.
Yeah, they're
Yes.
all typing away.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay. So between what we're saying and when they hear it. So.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
All right, so we're waiting on it. Let's see.
What is your favorite Disney movie? That's a good question.
Ooh, I like that one.
Oh, that's a hard one. I love all things Disney.
Same.
Oh gosh. I don't know. Oh, I mean, the first one that popped into my head was The Little Mermaid, and that's kind of what helped inspire my aspirations as a voice actor person. I literally would be in my dorm room in college with the soundtrack and just sing "Part of Your World" at the top of my friggin' lungs. So yeah, that's one of my absolute favorites. But I love Beauty and the Beast, and I like the OG Lion King. I'm a little confused about this new one. Don't fix what ain't broke.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for saying it.
I'm a purist, and it was perfect the way it was.
It's true.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Weird CGI.
Absolutely.
They were real enough to me.
Yeah, it's definitely true. I mean, like we could be here all day talking about it, but the biggest problem is just that, like,
I could sit here and complain about Seth Rogen's Pumbaa for about an hour. So,
like, it's like basically like what the core issue comes down to is just that, like, when you sort of, because it was shot to be like a documentary, but when you do that, you take away the spirit and the colors and the liveliness of it. Like you take away all of those symbolic things that made the movie such a masterpiece when you do that.
Why are they singing if it's a documentary? It doesn't.
I don't know. I have no clue. That they decided. Yeah, the goal was to direct the film like it was a documentary in terms of its staging and lighting and all those different things. And it's just kind of like, why would you do that? But
And like they keep seeing all the posters for the live action Dora the Explorer, and I like. He doesn't even have boots, and does her backpack talk to her? I don't know, but he had a whole song, and I just don't. I don't get it.
I'm willing to bet $50 that they made that thing tech. Like, you ever seen that Inspector Gadget movie that came out like in 2001? Like,
But I don't think they did. It's sort of like Lara Croft's Tomb Raider. It seems like I don't know. I don't know.
it's definitely It's definitely a really strange choice, but we'll see how it works out.
All right, here's another one. What's your favorite color?
Purple.
Oh, that's a good color.
Purple.
Nice.
That was an easy one.
Yeah. They said, what's your favorite Disney villain?
Ooh.
Disney villain. Ooh. Cruella de Vil.
What? Okay.
Well, I haven't-
Okay.
What?
Normally, I always hear someone say like Ursula or Maleficent. I haven't heard
Yeah.
Cruella in a while.
I haven't heard Cruella in a while either. That's why I was like, oh my god.
I like her.
That's a
got-
good one. I mean,
Mine's
she's
Captain
like
Gantu.
Gantu. Oh, from
Yeah,
Lilo
like
and
Captain
Stitch.
Gantu. Yeah,
Oh yeah. See, they don't seem very villainous though.
that is true.
They're kind of more
That's true.
bumbly than.
That
And
is true.
evil.
If
I
had
mean,
to pick
Cruella
one.
literally wants to turn puppies into coats. That's like the most evil thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's evil. That's very
Specifically
evil.
puppies. That's the weird part. Specifically the puppies.
Yeah, so
Like,
weird.
that has to be on purpose. I don't care what anyone says. That is on purpose. What you
As-
did that.
As we're keeping an eye out for questions, speaking of just speaking of Disney, you did have one. I think you had one role. I'm not entirely certain. I think it was on Doc McStuffins. You had one appearance.
What?
I was actually she appeared a few times. I was
Oh.
Pickles Devani. I love
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Pickles.
My
Nice.
daughter used to watch it all the time.
Well, my niece and nephews would watch it all the time too, and my nephew Mac especially loved Doc McStuffins, and so they would play the episode that Pickles was in, and they'd be like, "Hey, that's Auntie Colleen," and they're like, he would get so mad. He's like, no, it's not. It's Pickles. It's not Auntie Colleen. He would get very upset.
Oh my god.
Oh dear Lord.
That's so cute.
Poor Mac.
Oh wait, we have a question from Speed Force Productions. It says, Colleen, if there's one animation place you'd love to do voiceover for, what would it be? Well, I think it would be Disney, yeah, or would it be a different?
That I haven't worked for before, or
Yeah, like I guess that would be a good way to take the question. Yeah.
because I think I've been pretty lucky. I think I've gotten to work with all. I've worked at Cartoon Network. I've worked at Nickelodeon, Disney, DreamWorks, Sony, 20th Century Fox. I mean, I've been so lucky. I love them all. I would love to get on another Nick show. It's so much fun to go into Nickelodeon. But I'd love to go to Cartoon Network again. So, I mean, and I do every once in a while I get to, but that's all of them. Let's just say all of the above.
Okay.
The above.
Right
Good
on.
answer.
There you go.
I would really love to. I would really love to see what you could do with Invader Zim.
Oh,
That'd be really
Oh my
fun.
gosh.
Yeah.
I would really love to see that.
I would love to see a continuation, not a continuation per se, but maybe just like a follow up to all the events of Danny Phantom to hear you as Jazz one more time, because
I love that.
Danny Phantom was such a hit.
Too. When Butch did that, I don't know if you guys saw, he was aging the characters. He did them like 10 years later, and I was like,
yeah,
"Are we gonna do a 10 years later show? I would love it."
that'd be so cool.
I know.
That was
the show.
Danny Phantom was one of Nick's absolute best shows they've ever done.
People are still like, about every other day, I could bring Danny Phantom back. Like I hear it all the time. I wish.
Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah. I actually remember when Danny Phantom came out. It was a really big deal with with Nickelodeon when they premiered it. They just showed the same promos over and over and over and over again, and just like the big just fan response to it today, because we're all like old enough now to be able to to start like making our own stuff from the stuff we used to watch when we were kids. Just all the Danny fandom stuff that I just see on Twitter by itself has just been ridiculous.
All the fan art, there's so much fan art. You guys are amazing.
Right?
Always just like, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot. Let's see. I definitely have a question for you. Just real quick, like aside from the chat, is there a particular line for Tales that you've done, like in Sonic Boom or any of the games that you like and that often repeat to yourself or to another person or something like that?
So I was at I think it was called Sonic Revolution. They do a Sonic event, and I was there with a couple of the writers and Cindy Robinson, and somebody asked me that, and I turned to one of the writers. I'm like, Tails needs a catchphrase. You need to write me a catchphrase. Because people asked me that, and I was like, gosh, and so it turned into this thing, and I said, all right, for now, I'm going to use catch you on the flip flop, and so that's turned into the thing, and now I write that whenever I do autograph signings and stuff, and I'm doing a Tails thing, I always write catch you on the flip flop.
Very nice.
Perfect.
Very cool. Let's see. I think mostly just people just freaking out like over your impressions is just what you said.
Yeah, it's a lot of requests and everything.
Let's see. Are you like now? We let the chat know this before we started, but if they have requests, we just let that open in terms of the decision doing that, whether or not up to the guests. So if you're down to do that, that would be cool. But it's totally up to you if people have requests for you to do certain lines as Tails while you're here.
A specific line that they want, I don't mind. I don't know that I could conjure too many of them up on my own, but yeah, I don't mind.
Okay.
I can't do it all day.
Yeah, right.
Right.
In fact, we'll we won't be here too much longer. We don't want to keep you. So maybe we'll just kind of hold you for another 5 minutes, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's see if you want to.
All right, guys, bring your best.
Bring your best, guys.
Unleash chat. Come on now. Let's see what the chat's gonna do. Oh man.
I think I saw someone saying they wanted you to sing the banana song as Tails.
Okay. Okay. I'm a Chiquita banana, and I'm here to say a Chiquita is something you can eat every day. You can put them on a sandwich. You can put them in a pie. Any way you want to eat them, and you know the reason why. Bananas like the tropic of the very, very tropical equator. So you must never put bananas in the refrigerator. No.
Very nice.
That was great.
I love that.
Oh, God.
Are you okay?
I think she's about to faint.
I need air.
Let me
It's
see.
really cute. Like, it was just good. All good.
Let's see the other one that we keep getting constantly. Well, Emi, I hope you're prepared. Well, they're asking, okay, because Emi loves doing Tails' voice as well, and they were wondering if you and Emily can do like a quick conversation as the character on both sides. If that's something you all are down to do, it's just a constant request.
I'm very terrible at improv.
Yeah, tell them to give us a topic.
Yeah, give us something to
Tails talk to Tails about.
Let's see.
All right.
Someone actually quoted you, Emily. It said, "I need air." Emily chose you. Let's see.
For people, I don't really do like an impression or anything. I just do like the one that I usually do. It's not really an impression of anyone. I just do my own thing.
Okay, well, what if you all did something like trying to, this is actually kind of funny, bring you a full circle, try to explain how to say hieroglyphics.
Okay. Sure.
How do you say hieroglyphics? And what other way is there to say it?
I say hieroglyphics. Is that right?
I think that was right.
Hieroglyphics. That's it. That's it.
Grifflix. I like it.
Grifflix.
Hieroglyphics.
Like a cereal.
That sounds like something from Harry Potter.
It sounds like a cereal. Grifflix. Frosted
Hieroglyph-
Flakes.
Grifflix?
100 points for Gryffindor.
Like they try to do those. Wait, like they try to do like those weird like tie-ins, like to make the cereal different for a brief period, and they like do some weird pun of some kind of word or something. That would be really funny to see that.
Should make hieroglyphic cereal, and then you can try
We
to
should.
come up with different, scenarios that we put on a wall somewhere in a cave.
And it's like, it's like little marshmallow pyramids in there too.
Right?
Quick, patent it.
Something. Someone call Kellogg.
Post, get on it.
Right on. Very, very cool. And everyone's freaking out in the chat. There it is.
Yeah,
I need
everyone
more.
in the chat's
Yep.
like
There we
so
go.
happy right now.
Well, right on, Colleen. Thanks so much for coming in. Now, if people want to find more of you, just kind of catch up, see what you're doing, or things that you're going to be on pretty soon. Is there anywhere else that they can find you or look for you on your upcoming projects?
I pretty much post everything on my social media stuff on Instagram. I'm at Colleen O'Shaughnessy. Twitter at VO Colleen. I do have a Facebook fan page, but pretty much my Twitter just goes to that because I really just don't like Facebook. I just don't like it. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
It,
Facebook's getting kind of old.
I think so too.
It's like MySpace.
But yeah,
MySpace was great. Excuse you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. It got old. All right. It did. Like.
But yeah, I'm pretty good about posting those things there, and then like Behind the Voice Actors is pretty good about updating that kind of stuff too. But yeah, mostly Twitter and Instagram.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
Perfect.
Right on.
Thanks so much for having me, you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, no
it was so
problem.
nice. Yeah, it was really nice talking to you.
Talking with you guys too.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like it's really great. I've been it's really great to have you in. You're really, really funny, by the way. Like when you just kind of when you first came on like with your stuff, it was just you're really, really funny. I have a great sense of humor. It was really nice to meet you for sure.
I keep telling
Absolutely.
my kids how funny I am. I just keep telling them.
Yeah, you're
well,
really
now
funny. Yeah.
now it's just
Well,
like,
it's
see, look at this interview I did. I'm hilarious.
Right? I'm just
Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh.
we really appreciate you, coming in and helping us support a great cause. We actually just started a little bit ago, and we've already hit 200, which is really good for just starting out.
good. Very happy to hear that. So I'm
Yeah.
happy I could help.
Thank you
Sweet.
so much.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, well, we'll go ahead and let you go, and have a great day. But
You-
again, thank you.
Bye everyone. Thanks.
Bye.
Colleen.
Bye.
See you on the flip flop.
Catch you on the flip flop.
Bye.
Bye.